And these Czech crown jewels, they are very important, and they are kind of a national cultural relic. They are represented on the beautiful cushion, and they have a lot of jewels, precious stones, just the gorgeous decoration of the power and of the precious stones and pearls. So the oldest part of this set is the crown. And Saint Wenceslas was the first one who was kind of crowned with this crown, was coronated with this crown. Yes, it's so beautiful that you will just enjoy the view at the beginning of the tour, and then I will take you to the less humble area, but it will be special in their own sense, in its own sense. There is also a legend about the crown jewels, and the legend tells us that the person who is wearing them, this person should have the legal rights to wear, and the person who is wearing the crown, for example, the crown or the bowl, taking the bowl or the scepter, if he is not a royal, then he would die. And that actually happened with the Reinhard Heydrich. He liked to pretend that he is a king. Actually, he was a usurper. He was the helper of Hitler. And he stayed here in Prague castle, and he tried to wear them, probably according to this legend. And as a result, he died, and he was assassinated, and there was no antibiotic, so he died from his wounds. And it's very difficult to see those. When was the castle built? So they were building it for 600 years, and it they started the process in the 14th century and finished in 1929. For 600 years, they were building this beautiful St. Vitus Cathedral. So a few words about the jewels, and then I will tell you about the castle in detail. So the jewels are closed with the 7 locks. And different people have these 7 keys, like the prime minister, the archbishop, the president, and some other people. So 7 locks, 7 keys, and they have to come together, all the 7 people, to open the special room and the special chest, and to put this crown jewels on the display, on the public display. So now there are no people actually, but from the morning, the huge lines of people who even came from the different cities of Czech Republic are coming here to see this amazing crown jewels. So let's go around the St. Vitus Cathedral, and you will enjoy the beautiful views. It's a Prague castle. It's a huge complex, the biggest castle complex in the world. And that is the most important cathedral in Czech Republic. And I think this is the most magnificent Gothic cathedral in Europe. It is absolutely beautiful. And it was built when the Gothic architecture was very popular. So we are seeing the most exciting stop on our tour. Actually, this is the reason why people are coming here. They are coming to see this absolutely beautiful Gothic cathedral. It was built it began to be built in the 14th century when the Holy Roman Emperor and he was also the king of Bohemia. His name was Charles IV. He was very important in Czech Republic. He got the education in France, and probably that was the reason why he decided to build this beautiful structure here in this style. So the 14th century, 15th century, these were the golden age of Gothic architecture in Bohemia, and such a beautiful cathedral appears here. Oh, sorry, I didn't see the bench in front of me, so I just nearly fell down, but it's okay, I'm alive. So the two people were present when they were kind of putting the stones, the first stones, the Charles IV and the Archbishop of Prague. They were very important, and they represented two powers, the power of state and the power of the church. I will stand in the front of this beautiful structure, and I will enlarge for you the image of those individuals. So they laid the first stones in 1344. I use this. So you can see the Archbishop and the Charles IV, the statues. So that is the Charles IV. Where is my finger? Somewhere. My finger's frozen. Okay, I will make it smaller. So that is where the people enter to see the crown jewels, but they have the special invitations. So they are not usual people. The whole kind of show, the whole procession, the whole display finishes at 5 p.m. and the local time is 7 p.m. Those are lucky people who have special invitations. Probably they have some kind of significance for the Czech Republic, so they show their tickets and they go inside to see the public, the crown jewels, which are on the display. So that is a very old cathedral. It was built for 600 years, and it's a spiritual symbol of Czech state. And it houses these amazing crown jewels. But we can't come there because we don't have a ticket. You see, they are explaining that you need to have a special ticket to go inside. Actually, they are on display for free, but from 9 till 5, and then the very important people or those who have these invitations, then they come. And inside this beautiful cathedral has the tomb of Saint Wenceslas and beautiful Art Nouveau stained glass windows. They were designed by an Alphonse Mucha. And you also see that it's kind of becoming, it's kind of bright, it's illuminated, but in some parts the cathedral is a little bit darker because it was constructed of the sandstone, and the sandstone becomes darker with the time. So if you have gray hair, you are human. With your age, you have more gray hair, and St. Vitus turns black. Actually, today I discovered a few more gray hair. I was very, very disappointed, and this is why I'm telling you about St. Vitus. So we all have our own processes, you know. Can you zoom on the big round window again? Yes, the rose. I will zoom that. And that is a feature of the Gothic architecture. And while you, sorry, I will just stop it. And I will post some images, what we have inside. So if you enlarge the pictures, you will see St. Vitus inside. We can even go inside, but you know, when it is open, usually there are no visitors on Hego because they are closing it quite early, and usually you sleep during that time. There are different gargoyles and they have different faces, and there are rumors, the locals say, that they are designed by according to the mothers-in-law of those artists who were making them, and that is why the gargoyles have different faces. So the construction started during the reign of Charles IV. And he was kind of surrounded during his youth in France with these magnificent French cathedrals. So he came here, and later he decided to build this one in his home in Prague. It's absolutely safe. Carol, it's insanely safe because there are crown jewels. And also the president office is also here. So there are a lot of police. Just a few minutes ago, the ambulance left from this place. A lot of guards. So it's so safe that I even cannot tell you how safe it is. And so many people, they are coming here because they probably have hope to go inside to see the crown jewels, but they discovered that it's not possible during this time. So why they were building it for so long, for 600 years? Because they had a lot of wars, like Hussite wars in the 15th century. And the cathedral actually stood unfinished for many years. And finally, they opened it in 1929. Actually, it was finished. And tell me, please, how do you think to whom does it belong, to the church or to the state? Because even when the cathedral wasn't finished, there were different kind of religious ceremonies here. Now it's really the important part of the national Czech heritage. I have the first answer. Thank you, Beverly, for being active. The state, it's a wrong answer. And the church is the wrong answer as well, because it doesn't belong to the church and it doesn't belong to the state. It belongs to itself. There was so many disputes. Who should own St. Vitus Cathedral? Yes, like a nation, it belongs to the nation. So it doesn't belong to the church nor to the state. It just belongs to itself. We are coming to a very, very dark courtyard. And I am surrounded by the buildings where the president worked. But I will come now in a few seconds to the more kind of enlightened place. Thank you so, Margaret. Thank you so much for tipping, for support. Your tips are very important, and you always make the guide happy with your contributions. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. So I'm showing you, thank you so much, Fred. I'm showing you the courtyard where the presidential office is. And I'm taking you to the beautiful square. So the cathedral was really beautiful, and it was a place for the coronation. But when it was unfinished, people also used it for the masses, for the church services, for funerals. But it was kind of half size. Now it's much bigger. It's enlarged. It was enlarged during the years when it was built. But the interiors are really impressive. I posted you before the images of the interior, and they are very beautiful because these stained glass windows, when the light are coming through them, they are magnificent. There are also two organs. And sometimes you can even, when you walk around, you can hear how they are singing and playing these organs. I don't know, even in the course of the history, probably this is the longest kind of church that was developed and built for so long. For me, it's incredible that people were building it for 600 years. And who is St. Vitus? St. Vitus was the saint, kind of the early saint, and his relics are inside. He was tortured, he was thrown to the boiling oil, to the lion's pit, and later he was killed. So let me show you the huge titans when we exit the kind of Prague castle complex. and we will go to Loreta. We are in Grachane Square. That is the square which is full of beautiful buildings, and it's absolutely accessible because you cannot actually enter Prague Castle from this beautiful gate. You can just exit. There is special entrance, and you need to go through the check. They will check you. I will show you the magnificent entrance to the Prague Castle complex. And this is where the president works. And this is a big tradition because president used to live here. Probably he lives even now. I am not sure. But the presidents, they were living in the Prague Castle. And usually there is a flag. So here is the flag, the presidential standard. So when it is up, it means that the president is at work. And sometimes when the president has got guests, we can see the flag of the country. The country that where the guest is from. But now Czech president doesn't have any guests, and probably someone from Ukraine will arrive, and we will see the Ukrainian flag hanging here. Yes, there is the guard. The guards are not wearing the beautiful uniform now. I will post you the image of them here, how the guards look like, because they are during the daytime. They are wearing amazing uniform. And the same designer who created the uniform for Mozart movie, Amadeus, not Mozart, Amadeus, he created this kind of uniform for these guys. It's very, very fancy. You see, there is no guard, but I have posted an image for you. So if you haven't checked the movie Amadeus, you can watch it. And this is amazing movie. It was shot here, actually not far away from this place, and it's won 8 Oscars. So during the daytime, there are the orchestra and the military orchestra. It comes here and plays the military anthem. So this show lasts for about 10 minutes. It's absolutely charming square, full of beautiful palaces and beautiful houses. So if you are a fan of architecture, you will see and experience all 5 architectural styles. And you will see amazing view to Prague, to the whole city. It's so beautiful here at night. I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for taking me out. I was sitting for, for a couple of days at home because I was having in-home tours, like the tours that I'm running about Ukraine and home, from my home. And today is the first tour when I'm going out. So thank you for this walk. I hope that you are enjoying it with me, seeing so many cars came, visited them. I don't know. I don't see the cars here, but there are a lot of people, even at night, because they really wanted to see this crown jewels. And when you visited in October, so there is Eiffel Tower. I'm going to show you Eiffel Tower, and I will take you to the New World, to Loreta. So here there are more people, who have already consumed a lot of beer, and there is not as safe as it was in Prague Castle. So that is the Eiffel Tower. It's a little bit less than the real Eiffel Tower in Paris, but still. Thank you so much, Hans. Thank you, my dear, for your support. So let's go and explore 5 architectural styles. You will have Baroque, and you will see different buildings in Rococo style and classic, and even Gothic. So the Gothic is somewhere here. Can you see the small Gothic spires of St. Vitus Cathedral? So actually, this is really the best place to explore the architecture, because this Grachane Square was the main public place in the medieval period of the city, and it remembers everything, like the executions, the uprisings. And now I'm going to show you Adolf Hitler, who was entering through these gates. And he liked Prague. He even ordered never to destroy it. Can you see the same place? So we are standing on the same place where Hitler was walking. And here to the left, we have Archbishop Palace. And it's being the seat of Archbishop starting from the 17th century. It looks like a beautiful wedding cake. And here is Thomas Masaryk. He was the first president of Czechoslovakia. And I always like to tell a funny story that connects me with this man. My personal story when I decided to be a tour guide. We have a special house in Kiev. It's called Baron's House. So when you join my tours in Kiev, I will definitely show it to you. And that is the house where Thomas Masaryk, when he was a refugee in Prague, he was having his meetings. So I will show you. Now I'm showing you the picture of Kiev. And he was a refugee in Kiev, and he was kind of having his military council in one of the our Kiev castles. It's called Baron Castle. And I was asking my teacher, what can I tell about the Baron's Castle to the visitors? Nothing special, just the beautiful example of Gothic architecture of 19th century, and it really belongs to some kind of Ukrainian entrepreneur. And he's told me that, or she, there was the guide lady. You can tell that Thomas Masaryk, the first Czech president, was working here. And I answered, who needs the story about Thomas Masaryk? The first Czech president. And she told me that no, you never know what information you will need in future. And when I came here and I saw Thomas Masaryk, I understood, bingo, this is the place where I will tell people the story of Baron's Castle. So please come to Kiev and I will show you Baron's Castle, and I will tell you that Thomas Masaryk was having his military council here in Kiev when he was a refugee. Then he came back and he became the first president. And now I'm a refugee in Prague and telling you about this monument. I think that speaking about monuments, it's a little bit boring, but this story is funny for me because when you promise to yourself that I will never use this information, I will never need it, something strange happens and you actually need it. I'm cold, guys. Are you cold there? Please write me. Write to me, are you cold? So when I just want to use the opportunity and invite you to my absolutely exceptional tour tomorrow. I visited 4 cities around the Kiev city. They are all destroyed. And I wanted to show you where Banksy, the famous British artist, painted his murals. So he came to Kiev and he used the ruined buildings to create his masterpieces. Join me tomorrow. I will be streaming from my home and I will show you the video of these buildings, and I will tell you the meaning of them, and I will explain you why Banksy decided to help Ukraine in this way. And one of the murals was already stolen. Can you imagine that? So our Ukrainian citizens decided to steal the masterpiece of Banksy. I like this chandelier. It's kind of a lamp. Yes, please register tomorrow for my Banksy tour, and I hope I will not disappoint you. So we are standing near the National Gallery of Prague, and it's a beautiful lamp. There are I think there are two of them. I have seen another one in other side of Prague, and the light is very white. So they are enjoying gas. They are using the gas for this beautiful lamp. So the light is more clear. I don't know, more bright. And that is the National Gallery, which has the kind of exhibition of different masterpieces. But why it is interesting? Because it's decorated in special technique. It's called sgraffito. It's the official name is the Schwarzenberg Palace. And that is the Renaissance, Italian Renaissance. Look at this graffito technique. So when in the 18th century, the people got very sick here in Prague. They got bubonic plague, and people were coming to this place, to the square, to pray. They were desperate, and they were praying for the recovery. So just in front of this palace, they erected the Marian column. And on that column, there was the altar where they were praying. I will show you the column in a second. So that is Gracchane Square, and that is the Gothic architecture, St. Vitus Cathedral. We began there in our tour. It's so beautiful, beautiful square. This is the column where the people were praying during the bubonic plague. And close to this column is the Carmelite monastery. So I think this is the Carmelite monastery. Thank you so much, Diana. That was a very attractive location, close to the Prague Castle, close to the walls. So we will finish our tour near the huge fortification walls. And this square originated in the 16th, 17th century. And I mean, all the buildings originated somewhere during this era. And they are all in different styles. Like this, for example, Tuscany Palace. It was built in the 17th century, and this Tuscany Palace has a name of the Duke of Tuscany, and now it belongs to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I think there are so many wonderful buildings. They are all preserved. They are not ruined, and probably this is really the best preserved square in Prague, district in Prague. And it's not in one style. I could say that it has a mixture of different styles like Baroque and Renaissance buildings. So we are coming to the place where the Amadeus was filmed. So they used these buildings in Amadeus movie. There was the residence of Mozart, and they used Archbishop Palace. And this will be the entrance to the absolutely quiet district. We will go to Nowy Swiat, and this district was always inhabited by the servants who were very poor, and they lived close to the castle because they worked in the castle. So that is the place which is attracting the filmmakers, the artists, the writers, and the tour guides. So actually, this part of the city is not so popular among the tourists, and it's not spoiled by the tourists. When you go now to the old town square, you will see a lot of people, but here is no one, or almost no one. And the streets are just for us. It looks like I'm taking you to the medieval neighborhood. So this part of the city really gives you the opportunity to see how quiet and beautiful the city looked in the 15th, 16th centuries. And we are very fortunate that actually the tourists don't know much about this place. They come here during the during the day and make pictures, but at evening hours, especially minus, I don't know, 6 or something, there is just a very enthusiastic Hego guide from Kiev, Ukraine. So the city center is very busy and it has the special energy. But these unusual houses, tiny houses, are absolutely unique. So let's go to the new world. So that is another technique, sgraffito. Thank you so much, Ruth. I will flip the camera. Just a second. I will find my glove. My hand is frozen. I want to check what images I will post for you. So tomorrow, please come to my Banksy tour. Okay, I will show you how I was preparing for this tour in summer. It's not now, but it's funny. I didn't post to you one of the palaces that we went through, the Schwarzenberg Palace. It's inside the beautiful pictures. And now I am going to show you where Tycho the Bra used to live. Look at this man. And while I am taking you... So, sorry. Please let me know, how do you think, what did he have artificial? Artificial nose, artificial mouth, or artificial ears? I'm taking you to the place where he used to live in this new world. Absolutely right, Julia. He had artificial nose. So this is the neighborhood that belonged to the servants, but the astronomer, mathematician, and the famous friend of the emperor Tycho the Bra, he used to live here. Why? So why he had artificial nose? Because he liked to solve some kind of mathematical tasks, and he had a friend. So they were arguing about the result of the mathematical, I don't know, equation or a task. And at that time there was no internet, no Wikipedia, no kind of applications to check who was right, who was wrong. So they just decided to fight. It was kind of a duel, and his friend cut his nose. It was the incident or accident. But unfortunately, this person, Tycho the Bra, had to live through this whole life without nose. And the rumors, kind of the legend has it that he had different kinds of noses for nose. But I'm not sure. That was many years ago, and we don't have pictures or Instagram or any other kind of evidence. So really, he had the artificial nose, and I will take you where he used to live. It's not here, but just look at the houses. For example, this house was called Under the Golden Horn. Everything was called golden here. people were very poor and they wanted to have this wishful thinking. They wanted to have a lot of gold and they called their houses golden. So Tycho the Bra used to live here in the 16th century, and he lost his beautiful nose when he was 20. So if you have a quarrel about the mathematical formula, just go and check your answers. Don't fight. And for the rest of his life, he was wearing this fake nose. So he also had a mysterious death because he died from a very sudden bladder disease. And they had a party, kind of a banquet in Prague, and then he was unable to urinate, to go to the toilet. Just he was able to urinate in small quantities, and then he finally died because he couldn't perform this task. But later they discovered that probably that was the mercury poisoning, and this substance, the mercury, was found in his body in the large quantities and in his mustache hair when they were making the kind of the tests. What is the reason of his death? So that is a very strange life, Eliza. And this is the place where he lived. Ellison, probably the mercury shot his bladder, and that is why he couldn't urinate. So you see his name, Tycho the Bra. That is where he lived with his fake nose. The famous Danish emperor's mathematician and astronomer. Yes, and probably kidney failure. Ellison, are you a doctor? I am not. That is why. Yes, Beverly, probably someone poisoned him. Again, that was in 1601, and actually we don't have any 100% proof, but still there is the one of the kind of versions, one of the possibilities. So welcome to the most romantic place in Prague, and it's just for ours. You see the medieval walls, as I promised to you, no people. And back then, many years ago, this place, this area, was inhabited by the very poor people, but by the most poor society who worked in Prague Castle. And they had big families, kind of a lot of children. So these big families, they lived in these very small houses. Sometimes people experienced a lot of hunger, a lot of like they had to struggle really for a better life. They were servants for the emperor. Look, this is the beautiful restaurant. Let's look inside. Do you like to watch in the windows? That is the brewery. You see, they have the small kind of devices to make kind of mini brewery. Yes. Usually this restaurant is not full of people. And they have a beautiful symbol of Ukraine. You see wheat kind of branches, wheat grass. Even in summer, I didn't notice a lot of visitors in this place. The ladies noticed me. Look at the amazing lamps. And they even have the hero of our talk, Tycho the Bra. Let's look at him. Sorry, it's not Tycho the Bra. This is the Emperor Rudolf. No, it's not Tycho. Sorry, guys. That is Emperor Rudolf II. So that is, I think it's kind of a cafe or even a hotel and a cafe. So as I told you, the most poor people, the poorest people used to live in the New World, and they experienced hunger. They were always striving for better lives, and they decided to give the beautiful names for their buildings. So they named their buildings under the golden carp or under the golden horn. or a house of golden star, or house of golden acorn, or golden grape. So when they wanted to have a lot of gold, they just gave the names of their houses with the word gold or golden. So that was the 15th century, when the Prague castle was the place of the Holy Roman Emperor. And he was also the king of Bohemia. And this place also finished with the kind of these walls, the defensive walls, because that was a structure of the castle. So they were a part of the castle. These walls surrounded the castle and the New World, and protected the people who were living inside the castle. Sometimes when you go through the streets, you can see the names of the houses, but in the kind of in the shape of the fish, for example. That is probably was the house at the golden carp or golden fish, who knows. I'm not sure about this fish, but it looks very sinister. So this place is becoming more and more famous and recognized, especially thanks to internet and graffiti. Yes, there are people in the buildings, and sometimes there are artists who live here. Sometimes I can see people. Really, I can see the people who stay here. Probably there are some kind of art galleries, and we are standing in front of the summer theater. So behind this wall is the stage, and in summer there are performances. So definitely this place looks like like they take it from the fairy tale, but in authentic way, because sometimes you just go to the city center and you can see absolutely beautiful teen church and the old town square, but you understand that everything is so glamorous, and people made it beautiful. And here you feel this sense of I don't know, that everything is intact. It was untouched by the people. Or like, for example, this corner. What is the purpose of this corner? How do you think? What is the purpose of this corner? Let's make a quest. I used to be a teacher, an English teacher, and I like to ask questions. So how do you think, why did they use, what for did they put this kind of stone work around the corner of the building? I will work with you. Keep the wheels from damaging. Exactly. Yes, Jim. They were protecting the walls of the buildings because there were horses, carriages, and I'm taking you to the street which is perfect for murder. Absolutely. So look, you can really film a movie right now. Feel where we are. Look, no one. I'm walking in complete silence. No, someone is opening and closing the door at the distance, but still, it looks like it was created for some, I don't know. So the life was really tough here many centuries ago, and the children would play here, and there were lines of clothes hanging from the houses. People were drying up their clothes. So it's very cool to walk here at night, because you feel like you have this absolutely unique experience to walk in this dark and medieval street. Murder by angry fish. Okay, Beverly, let's go to Loreta. Loreta, that is a pilgrimage place, and there is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs just in front of it. And I hope that I will feel safer. Really, guys, I don't feel safe here. It's a strange place to be. Absolutely strange. night. So it's kind of small Italy, because the houses are very tiny, and I'm like Alice in Wonderland. There are small windows, small doors. Back then, Prague was made of timber houses, and then there were a lot of fires during the Middle Ages. And this street is famous because it ends with the house that survived all the fires. And now there is a beautiful restaurant and the cafe. So I will show you the house that survived all the fires. And it's called the kind of crayfish, the house at the crayfish. So there was the stream here, near here, and there was a lot of crayfish. So that is how the name of the restaurant appeared. And during the communism, a lot of Czech personalities, artists, and writers and theater players, theater, probably actors, they used to live here in New World. So we are in the area that is called New World. Sometimes the musicians would hang their pictures just from the windows. So it's not a big area, it's kind of a tiny area where the servants of the emperor used to live. And it has the special atmosphere of this narrow, winding medieval streets, and you can find the curious signs, house signs, and you can find this curious hand knobs, but they are not knobs. Can you look at this? Ram or sheep? It's big. Door latches. Look, so it's huge. It's a size of my face or even bigger. Can you imagine this door latch? Once there was an interesting lady. She was sitting just outside of the courtyard and she invited me inside. So inside there are small courtyards and they are covered by the ivy. And the walls of these old houses, they are all covered by this ivy. I will show you one of the examples. Look how this wall looks like. So if you look to the other side of the house, you will find courtyards full of this amazing plant covering the walls. Amazing place, and I like visiting the places when there is nobody. We really have some special sense, special experience, special visit. I need to come there tomorrow to make some video. I think I need to wear a special costume and we can really make a show. So I'm taking you to Loreta. Loreta, that was a pilgrimage site. And if you know, there is a special, for example, that is the star, the house at the Golden Star. So Loreta is a special place in Italy, and it actually means the house of Virgin Mary, Santa Casa, or holy house. So according to the legend, the house of Maria, of Virgin Mary, it was saved by the angels because the city was kind of attacked by Muslims, and the angels took the house of Virgin Mary to Loreta, to the Italian city. And this Prague Loreta has the stones or the bricks, the stones from the real Loreta in Italy. So we are coming to this hotel near Crayfish romantic hotel Uraka. Uraka means at crayfish. And that is a stream where there were a lot of crayfish. There was very important family in Prague, and the family name was Lapkovich family, and they were dynasty. So one of the religious lady, her name was Catherine, she decided to build this Baroque complex of Santa Casa, Baroque complex with Loreta, and it's surrounded by the chapels, by the church. And it really has several bricks that were brought from Italian Loreta, and they put those bricks in the foundation. So before taking you to the most visited pilgrimage place in Prague, let me show you the huge medieval wall. You see, partly it is covered with the ivy, and it's very, very big. It's very high, and it was protecting the castle area. So let's go to Loreta. And there is a special treasure, the Prague sun, which is kept inside Loreta. I am posting you the image of Prague sun, and it is very special because it has a lot of diamonds in it. So I am taking you to the place where the Prague sun is kept. It will take us approximately 1 minute along this beautiful street. Can you guess how many thousands of diamonds are there in this Prague sun? Because that is the gem of Loreta. It's the piece which is decorated by the diamonds. It weighs 12 kilograms. So Prague sun has got 12 kilograms of pure gold, and it's shining like a sun because it has a lot of diamonds. It has 6,200 diamonds. So here we have more light and a lot of beautiful decorations on the walls, on the doors. Yes, it sparkles. You can pay, I think, about, I don't know the exact price, but when I asked, I remember I came last year and I decided not to go inside because it seems like it was quite pricey for me, 15 or 20 euros to go inside and to see this Prague sun. So it's really magnificent and beautiful Baroque architecture that you are going to see in a second. So that is the highest point of Prague Castle, and that is why I'm breathing heavily, because I'm taking you to the up of the hill. So we are going to see this kind of religious place, religious complex where people were coming. That was a pilgrimage complex because they wanted to make the Catholic Church stronger here. And they built this Santa Casa in the middle. How old is this sun? I don't know exactly how old it was. I was so shocked to know that it has 6,000 diamonds. So probably the age didn't impress me. So some people really think that this is a must-see because it has the treasury with this Prague sun and this church of Nativity. It has the carillon, the Mozart played. No, I haven't seen, because I told you, I remember when I came to Prague last year, I decided to come there, and if I don't remember the price of the ticket, but it's not that cheap, about 15 or 20 euros. So I decided that I will look at the picture of the Prague Sun. I just believe that it is there. But if you want to see 6,000 pieces of diamonds in the whole world, you can really come and see here. So the whole complex was constructed in 1626. And it's in an absolutely beautiful Baroque, it has the beautiful Baroque facade. So probably the sun was created in the 17th century as well, but I'm not sure. I like to explore this area at night because this place is absolutely beautifully illuminated, and it's called Loreta. I don't know, but the carillon doesn't always work. They promise that it should work every hour at least, but it's not working. But it's famous that it can play beautiful music. There are a lot of angels and sculptures around Loreta. And they are all showing the stunning Baroque architecture. No gargoyles, Beverly, because gargoyles are when we have Gothic, and here we have Baroque. So let me show you. This is the place which has been the place of pilgrimage for many, many years when Catholic Church was kind of popular here. Let's look at these beautiful angels. And I think that when we're looking, oh my gosh, you see, you hear the carillon. It's special. I can hear it for the first time with you. Magic happens on my tours. Amazing. So inside it has this Santa Casa, the replica of Mary's home that was brought from Italy, but actually not the house was brought from Italy, but the few stones from the real Loreta was a few stones were brought from Italy. Yes, Olga magic, exactly. I like this phrase, and I think that the magic really follows me. Never have heard the carillon, and here we are. So I will find now you a good piece of music to finish our today's tour and to say goodbyes to you. It's 8 p.m. You're welcome, my dear. Thank you so much for your compliments. I'm glad that you're enjoying our walks. Будь ласка, Елайза. Слава Україні!